Welcome to Mikon's Hardware. Today I have a goal to transform this old workstation from HP into a modern entry-level gaming computer.
First, let's take a look inside. What do we have there? It's very easy to open this workstation just like this. Inside here we have some very old and very basic graphic card. Let's take it out and take a look what's this. So this is AMD HD 6450 with 1GB of DDR3 RAM. Very basic graphics card, not capable of any modern gaming, thus I'm gonna be replacing it with something more capable. The good news is that this 850 watt power supply has two 6-pin power connectors for the graphics card, so something decent shall be possible to install here. Let's take off this cooling module and take a look underneath. The CPU is installed here. I have checked the CPU already. It's a Xeon E5 2620, 6-core 12 threads CPU, very basic but still very nice CPU for office tasks. Yet it's a bit too slow for the gaming, thus I will be upgrading CPU as well. For the RAM, we have 8 slots for the RAM with 4 sticks installed, and this is Samsung DDR3 ECC RAM with 2GB per stick, so 8GB in total. Let's put it back. For now, 8GB is a bit too little for the modern games, thus I will be upgrading it to 16 gigs with the most budget option, I guess. Then here we have a single hard drive. This one is Seagate for 500GB or half a terabyte, very old and very slow drive. That's why currently system is extremely slow. Over here I also see a DVD drive, pretty useless nowadays, maybe I will replace it with something. Here we have 2 fans for cooling up the entire system. Here is another fan. What else can I say about this motherboard? Well, this motherboard actually supports 2 CPUs. Currently it's only one installed here and it's possible to just install one. But if I remove this cover over here, it's a little bit hard to remove it here. So if I remove this cover, we see here extra connectors. And it's actually possible to install here extra module, and in that extra module we can install extra CPU and extra RAM. Unfortunately, these modules are being sold on eBay for unreasonably expensive price, like $150 US. If they would cost like, let's say, $20-30 US, you could buy the module and add extra CPU, extra RAM and be happy. But for $150 US, it's completely unreasonable. What I'm disappointed with this case is that there is no 2.5 inches places for the SSD drives. I'll have to figure something out, how to install this SSD somewhere here or here. I don't know yet, but that might be a problem. Now it's time to take a look at the upgrade parts I have picked for this particular system. Please keep in mind that I was trying to stay very budget friendly. That's why I have picked 8 sticks of 2GB each DDR3 ECC RAM. This RAM costed me nothing. I got it for free from a server upgrade. That's why I picked it. Second thing is a second hard drive for 500GB, so there will be 1 TB of storage in total. For the CPU, I have got one quite popular Xeon E5 2689. This is 8-core 16-thread CPU. Unfortunately, right now it's costing a bit unreasonably much, like 65-70 euros, but you still can buy Xeon E5 2650 second version, which provides almost identical performance and cost around 50 euros. For the graphics card, I have chosen this MSI RX 588GB. Unfortunately, this graphics card requires 8-pin power connector. That's why I have to use this kind of adapter from 6-pin from the power supply to 8-pin on the graphics card, like this, but that shall be fine. For SSD, I'm having Samsung Evo 850 5GB. I know this is not a very budget option, but I believe that it's better to buy 500 SSD than 256 or 240, because 500 SSDs are costing not twice as much as the lower capacity drives. I have also got this kind of a drive adapter in order to be able to install SSD into this system and still be nice and tidy. So here it's possible to install 2 SSDs, and here we can install a hard drive. Let's see how it works. Taking SSD and just pushing it in just like this. SSD installed. All good. Very nice. Staying here. And hard drive could be installed like this. Seems to be like a very nice little thing for installation. It costed me like 9 euros, which is a bit too much, but if you're buying from AliExpress and you don't mind to wait for 1 or 2 months of delivery, then it's gonna cost you way less. Now let's put all of these into the machine.
Well, all the parts have been assembled, Windows has been installed, now it's time to check what this workstation is capable of. Let's start with the CPU Z benchmark. When using all the cores, Xeon E5-2689 is showing quite good result, overtaking Xeon E5-1650 V2, Core i7-6800K, Core i5-8600. When using just single core, Xeon E5-2689 is showing quite weak result, having just 355 points. Cinebench R15. This is quite old benchmark which is not using the modern instructions, that's why Xeon E5-2689 is showing not bad result, overtaking Core i7-6800K, Core i5-8600 and Xeon E5-1650 V2. Ryzen CPUs are quite much faster. Cinebench R20 is quite much newer compared to Cinebench R15, thus it's using the modern instructions. That's why Xeon E5-2689 is lagging behind Core i7-6800K and Core i5-8600. Xeon E5-1650 V2 is showing quite similar result to Xeon E5-2689, while the Ryzen CPUs are yet again pulling ahead. Corona benchmark. Rendering as seen using CPU. Xeon E5-2689 took just 3 minutes and 2 seconds to finish rendering, which is faster than Xeon E5-1650 V2, faster than Core i7-6800K and faster than Core i5-8600. Ryzen CPUs are yet again slightly faster than these 8-core Xeon. Handbrake. In this test I am converting 14 minutes video from TS format into MP4 format. Xeon E5-2689 is showing quite weak result, losing to Core i7-6800K, Core i5-8600, while Ryzen CPUs are quite much faster yet again. Probably this is because Handbrake is using modern instructions which are not supported by the Xeon E5-2689. That's all with the working benchmarks for today, let's do some gaming. In my shooting trial benchmark, Xeon E5-2689 is providing quite good results, having 183 average FPS and 136 1% low FPS, which is better than Core i7-6800K, better than Xeon E5-1650 V2, but losing to Ryzen 5 1600X, Ryzen 5 2600X, and Core i5-8600. Online gameplay is not that smooth, unfortunately. There are occasional frame drops to like 20 FPS, 1% low is about 40 FPS, while maximum at 120 providing averages around 80 FPS, with minimum frame rate around 51 FPS. That's definitely playable, but those frame drops are quite annoying. And the problem here is not the graphics card, it's the CPU and the RAM. I believe that if I would be able to overclock this RAM to at least 1600 megatransfers or even 1886, that would eliminate quite some of those frame drops, but unfortunately this HP motherboard has very basic BIOS and does not let me overclock RAM. Thus, if someone is thinking to upgrade such a machine and you don't yet have RAM, then I would recommend to go for something like Xeon E5-2650 V2, which supports DDR3 1886 out of the box, and buy some Samsung 1886 RAM, which is not that cheap, but it's also not expensive. In my case, I've got my RAM for free, that's why it was the obvious option to go with this RAM. Another alternative would be Xeon E5-1650 or 1650 V2. Both of those CPUs are unlocked, and I have seen multiple results online when people using Intel Extreme Tunity utility were able to successfully overclock these CPUs to 4, 4.2 or even 4.4 GHz. When paired with the branded Samsung DDR3 1600 megatransfers or 1886 megatransfers memory, that should be a very nice combo for this workstation, and I would say this is probably the best variant. In Cydia Skylines, Xeon E5-2689 providing quite good result, having 47 average FPS and 23 1% low. Due to low frequency, Xeon E5-2689 is only able to manage 13 average FPS in Cossacks 3 with 1% low FPS. Astroneer is yet another not very optimized game. Here Xeon E5-2689 is showing 60 average FPS and 21% low. Let's finish this video with one more recently released game, Red Dead Redemption 2. As you can see on the video, even at 720p, this CPU is able to provide enough performance to load my RX 580 to 100%. Vulkan API is also providing better result. CPU utilization is sometimes going as high as 50-60%. This means this game is using at least 8 cores of the CPU, and sometimes it's even going up to using the hyper-threading. CPU clock is staying stable at 3.3 GHz, and GPU utilization is staying around 100% all the time. Overall, it's very decent result for this old system with such a cheap upgrade. In the end of the benchmark, we are having 26 minimum FPS, 104 maximum FPS, and 80 average FPS. Even if I switch to 1080p, it's still possible to get 16 FPS on average, and CPU utilization going down, while GPU utilization is staying at 100%. Thus, we could even pair something like GTX 1070 or even GTX 1080 with this CPU. That's it for today's video. This machine is gonna wait for its owner, and I have to say goodbye. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening.